Welcome to English 4A and 4B with me, Mrs. Page. As you have probably noted, the email is still down. They are working very hard to fix it. I know that they have like plans overnight to do some more stuff too if it's still needed, so it should be fun. Sorry about all of that. To be totally honest, I'm not IT, so I really don't know. All I know is that anything that I need to sign in with that has to do with my K-12 login or my school login doesn't work. Like, oh good, see? I mean, it seems like it's hit or miss for some people. Yay. Welcome, Levi. How are you? Yeah, what's funny is I can see that people have turned in forms for like the getting to know you and things like that, but I can't actually access it because I have to log into my Microsoft account. So until mine's done, then I can't update those grades. But I'm happy to hear that Amber and Luca and probably some of you guys other than that have email, so that's good. Just be aware that we teachers are still in the dark on that. So make sure to like call, text, Skype, you know, like that, any of those kinds of ways that the teacher has told you other than email would be kind of the route to take if needed. All right, so if we learn and improve from our mistakes, kind of like whatever's going on with the email, they're learning and improving, right? Why are we so afraid to make mistakes? What is the barrier? What makes us go, nope? Welcome, Vanessa and Anissa. Welcome, Jason. I think I got everybody else, hopefully. And we can get back to that one, Amber. I like that question, but if we learn and improve from our mistakes, why are we so afraid to make them? And you can feel free to private chat it to me if you don't want to tell the world. But like, in other words, what's your barrier? What's stopping you? What says, no, I can't do something because I might make a mistake? A fear of being wrong. I like it, Levi. Ooh, that's a good one. May I share? So we've got, because society has taught us that it's shameful to make mistakes, right? I think it's because other people might talk about you, right? Like that feeling that others are judging you or being embarrassed. Very good, Vanessa and Amber, yes. Welcome, Mason. All right, so I want you to know, I bring this up because, you know, this is school. We're supposed to feel very comfortable and confident, you know, like that people are not judging us. We do have options, like if you're just too nervous, you know, like you can always do the private chats or when email's working or Skype or those kinds of things for asking questions or, you know, not presenting it to the entire class kind of thing. Lucas says you feel the pressure of constantly needing to fit in. I can definitely understand that one. Welcome, Ramir. As someone that, like most of my friends are like my tribe. I call them my tribe because regardless of what I do, they're going to be my friend, right? It's not about what I've done, well, unless I maybe, you know, really awful things maybe. But being my normal self and making like normal mistake kind of things. You know, like it is not so much that I'm feeling like they're going to judge me, but I think that after time you tend to make this role in your head that's going, I've got to be perfect, I've got to be perfect. Even if it doesn't make sense anymore, it's just the fact that because you've been saying it so many times, that little narrative in your head, that is what you think of. And so it's almost like pretty much any addiction or routine that you've done and done and done and done, right? Like you do it this way every single time. So like I'm in my master's class and I was so nervous about turning in my project, and this morning I got the feedback and they said you need to fix this and this and this, and even I did the whole you know, like what in the heck. But it wasn't because I was feeling like she was judging me, but it was the fact that I just wasn't up to par. You know, like I redo quizzes until I get 100%, as long as I can possibly do it. You know, that kind of stuff. So I get it. But no, one, we're in a no judgment zone. That means that if you feel like judging, stop. Keep it to yourself. And think about how you would feel if someone else said that. If you are judging yourself, if at all possible, try to stop. And remember, we are in school, we're supposed to grow. We're supposed to make mistakes. And so that's okay. That's a good thing. Because we do improve from them. And it may feel awful at the moment, but we do improve and grow. The reason why I bring this up is because today we're going to look at the rubric of how I'm going to grade your projects. And so you'll be able to see exactly what the grade is coming from, so you can get it to the grade that you want it to be as best you can based upon the rubric. And if for some reason you get a grade that you're like, wait, in this rubric I should have gotten this, explain it to me. Okay, that's good. Explain it to me, because then maybe if there's a, you know, I read it differently than you, we can fix it. If it's, you know, like we need to fix something together, we can make that one-on-one, that kind of stuff. So, we say, yeah, like with everyday life, I sometimes think about what I just did or said over and over and over again. I feel like sometimes I don't do enough of what I should or can, or act the way I should and can, right? Like we just have that over-analysis is what they call it, but I really think it's just kind of a knee-jerk reaction because of what's been played in our head, right? Like, you know, like I did something, oh man, and what's bad is because we keep judging ourselves, we end up kind of curling up into a ball, and I don't want that to happen, right? Like don't feel that you're stuck and that it's not okay to reach out. I am not judging. I grade, but I'm not judging. I want you to show growth. So if at the beginning of this you're doing this level of work, I want to see that you're improving from the level that you're at. So, welcome, Kenny. Alrighty then. Don't forget we've got the fall talent show coming up. So that is on Wednesday at 3 p.m. Those of you that are in it, don't forget Tuesday at 3 p.m. we have our practice. So tomorrow, I don't think I'm ready. Speaking of the judging thing, I literally have panic attacks before I do this. Yeah. So, but I like doing it. It's fun. I just have to get myself like started and through it and then breathe. Okay. Okay, today, because the rubric is the same for both projects, I figured I'd just keep you guys together. We'll go over the rubric itself real quick, and then you guys can go into your breakout rooms. Because for A, your project is now due today because it was not showing up on Friday, and it should be showing up now, but if for some reason it's not, let me know. And for B, yours is due tomorrow. So we want to make sure that you understand what you're being graded upon. The rubric is very general. but it still covers both pieces, and you'll see in a minute. But do I have anybody that would like to read for us, either the pledge or the objective or both? And I was like, no, I'm feeling like I'm going to be judged because I might make a mistake. I get it. No worries. All right, so if at least 5 people can write for me in the chat box, I will climb to reach those goals and dreams every day. Because in a way, that is about the whole, I might make mistakes, but I'm going to keep climbing. I'm going to climb to reach those goals and dreams every day. All right. Thank you, Anita. Thank you, Flory. Thank you, Luca. Thank you, Mason. Need one more, because I don't count. One more. What are you? You're going to climb to reach your goals and dreams every day. Nobody? Nobody else is going to reach for their goals and dreams every day? It's okay if you write it in the private chat too. Thank you, Marisol. Awesome. All right. So, I am a young adult at Hope. I am talented, smart, and capable of success. I will respect myself, others, learning, and property. I have dreams for the future, and I will climb to reach those goals and dreams every day. All are capable of success, no exceptions. Today's objectives. Today I am using the rubric to ensure the 1.01 project is complete so that I can show my knowledge of Unit 1 information. I will know I got it when I am able to get a 70%, which is 9.6 out of the 16 points on the rubric, or higher, on the rubric for my 1.01 project, which again, today 4A is due, tomorrow 4B is due. So good news is this is it's specific but generic, and we'll talk about why that is. I did send out a file. If you did not open that file up, please do so at this time. If you need me to resend it, let me know. I'll just go ahead just in case. You can just close it out if you've already got it open. But the rubric that was sent out, make sure it's opened, because I can't really seem to make this big enough for you to be able to see it on the board. And while people are doing that, if you would for me, tell me on the mic or in the chat box, what is a rubric and what is its importance? So this is an example, the one we're going to be using. How would you define a rubric and why do you think that's important? And the reason why this is important is I'm going to try to adapt this rubric to be easier to understand for future ones. So unfortunately, it won't let me change it for Unit 1's project, but I will change it for the future ones once we have adapted. So does anybody know what a rubric is? Looking at the example document that I sent out of one, and this picture here up on the board. See a couple people writing. Beautiful. And remember, all answers can be done by private chat if you don't want to share it with the whole class. I will not say who it was that wrote it, I promise. It's like what you will be grading us based upon. Yeah. So like I look at this and I go, look at what you've got. And I go, okay, did this person do this? Did this person do that? Okay, a couple more people writing. I'll wait a moment longer. And if you would for me, give me the green check once you have this open, just so I know that in case anybody needs help with that. Luca, a rubric is a guideline for your work, which tells you exactly what the assignment needs, and you can check the rubric as well as your work to see if it matches. Beautiful. So it's guiding you as well as allowing you to go back and say, hey, did I? Beautiful. The rubric is mostly used to grade big assignments like projects. Yeah. In this class, it's the written ones. Anything that you have to turn into the Dropbox, I've got a rubric for it. Most of them will follow the same rubric. So that'll kind of make it easier on you as far as what you will be graded upon. Regardless, it's going to contain these 4 sections: content, elaboration, conventions, and word choice and tone. So whenever you're doing the project, whether it's the Epic Heroes for 4A, or whether we're talking about romantic poetry for 4B, you still have a section that you are kind of summarizing it or explaining it or making something new, right? But it has to reflect upon what you were learning from it. So whenever I look at it, I look and I go, okay, did the person clearly present a thesis statement, 3 topics, and or answer all parts of the question accurately for all parts of the question provided? So in other words, if it's one that you're writing like research into it, you're like summarizing, that kind of thing, there should always be a thesis statement at the beginning. If it's you're writing a story, maybe you're just making sure to reflect every piece that's in there. Does that make sense? Yep. Okay. Now, when we go from level 4, that's, you've got all of it, right? It goes all the way down to level 1, which means that you attempted something, it's limited, but maybe you only have a thesis statement, or you only covered one of the topics, or you only started to answer one of the questions, that kind of thing. If you have nothing, of course, you're going to get a 0. You know, right? But at least if you've attempted, then you're going to make sure you get at least 1 point for each. So you kind of think of it in like the whole least to best. But what I'd like for you to do is, I know it's kind of tiny on here. Once I put it up on the board, I was like, oh man, it is teeny tiny. So that's why I sent it out by document. If you've got it open, I'd like for you to tell me, or highlight on the board, write it in the chat box, what words or phrases are not clear enough to you, or maybe what differences you may have, like maybe you're like, wait, what with the conventions, why, that kind of thing. So what words or phrases stand out to you, highlight those or send it by chat box, or if you have like other questions about how it's working. And probably the best bet is it kind of repeats itself, boop, 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 boop. It's just the level of how much is there. So you could actually kind of just focus on one section of it. So like with level 4, maybe you don't understand whenever it means mechanics. What is mechanics? Can anybody tell me what mechanics is? Welcome, Maylin. It could be a robot, very true. There you go, you're building it, you're making it into the correct form. So like think of it like a robot. If you don't put it in the correct form, the robot's not going to work. There's going to, you know, like maybe there's something in the programming that's off. That's very similar to that. So that mechanics piece to it, did it fit correctly? If there's something off in it, it's going to kind of make it where you go, wait, what? You know, maybe it's not clear. It's not a full robot. Is there anything else that stands out to you as I don't understand it? Can you give me an example of? I mean, by this point, hopefully you've had rubrics before, but, you know, you never know. So that's why I always make sure to go through it. All right, if you understand it, you think you'll be able to interpret this, be good to go as you're going through it, just give me a green check. And if you would like to stick around and ask questions, give me the red X. So you should be either giving me a green check or a red X. Good to go, have questions. Ah, that's funny. See, look at what I did. Okay, now try it again. I think I clicked it whenever I was trying to make it not visible. I locked it instead. So what you're going to do is you're going to move into the breakout rooms to work on either, like with 4A, you're working on the project and making sure you've got it good to go. And then, of course, I'm here to help you as needed. And 4B, you'd be working on what is due, and I would suggest making sure that you're starting on the project, and tomorrow we'll go through the very specifics of the content elaboration pieces that we need. The conventions and word choice, you should be good on your own kind of thing. So, and then the choice is yours after that. If you don't need to work on the stuff, then, you know, you are junior, seniors. Make a choice that works best for you. Alrighty, so it does look like some of you guys have gotten it. How about we do it this way? I want to make sure that everybody's good. Okay, awesome. What I'll do is, because I'm going to be here, I'll be in the needing help room. So you'll just come to the needing help room if you have questions, right? Otherwise, you can move to the room of your choice once I click that button, which is now. Here we go. Alrighty guys, so today we talked about the rubrics and for the 1.01 projects which are coming up. So this is kind of the view for the week. And then your extra credit out the door ticket fun would be what do you think should be added to the rubric and why? And if nothing should be added to the rubric, explain why itself, like, you know, what gloriousness it is already. I don't know, however you want to put it. If you need help You cannot email at this time, so please don't try. Even though your email is working, mine is not, unfortunately. Just assume today we have no email. So call, text, Skype. You can even click here and make a one-on-one. Yeah, so that's all. So unless you have any questions or need anything, or you're trying to finish up your out-the-door question, you are free to go, guys. Thanks for coming in. Bye.